And welcome to another episode of Stuck in My Mind podcast. I'm your host, WIZE. My next guest went from Hollywood to becoming a dynamic storyteller a dynamic storyteller at Hollywood to becoming a best-selling author. I'm excited to have her on the show. Welcome to the show, K.A. Oliver.
Hello, thank you for
Hello.
having me.
How are you today?
I'm doing great today.
All right. So what inspired you to make the transition from producing films to writing novels?
Two reasons. I love writing. I loved writing when I was in Hollywood. I love storytelling, but you have more creative control when you're writing your own books. In Hollywood, you have all the executives and everybody, right? But when you're writing your own book, it's your book with you and your editor. So that's a lot less people.
So your novels often feature strong but imperfect women. How do you
Yeah.
create these relatable characters?
I have a lot of strong women that are in my life one way or another, and I use them. I'll tell you a little inside story on my books. I ask a friend, "Hey, I'm going to write a new book. I need a character. I would like to use your first name. What is your last name you would like to appear in the book?" And I then they become a fictional character, but I have everything from that person's personality, their intelligence, their humor, the things I like to eat, and that really helps me create really reliable, realistic type of characters.
Okay, that's a unique way to create characters is to use your friends.
Yes, and you don't have to fill out that whole background because you know them if you know them well,
Yeah,
and
this
they're
is true.
willing to
This
trust
is
you.
true.
Yeah.
So can you share the inspiration behind the Dr. Kelly Worthy series? Ca-
Yes, the Dr. Kelly Worthy series. First book is called Disturbed Tombs. I had a question, and I still have the question, honestly. But the question is, why do we, dig up every mummy we find? I know people say it's for the sake of science, but when you find 28 mummies and you dig up 28 mummies, I'm not sure, that we're not disturbing their peace because we keep our graveyards sacred. And you're not allowed to dig those up. You can't go over there and go, let me just see what that person was wearing when they died. Um, right? So that was the question. So I came up with my own answer to that question, and it's in the book.
Okay. So
Yeah, and it started there.
so how did the experience in the entertainment industry shape your approach to storytelling in your novels?
It did. I got a degree in radio, TV, film, and I started working with some really well known producers, directors, and that was fantastic for me to be able to do that. And I had one who kind of mentored me. I was a little leery at first when I entered Hollywood. I saw things going on I didn't want to participate in, making it nice and PC here. And I was concerned about, well, maybe this isn't the place for me. And my mentor sat me down and said, no, just be you. Know that some people go up the ladder faster by doing different things and they'll fall faster. So, just be you. And if you're okay with that, then there's nothing to worry about. And so, I just stayed true to who I was. And I'm glad I did because I've come out very healthy, very solid. And, and I was surrounded, with the people who are like minded. So I was able to have friends, both male and female, just in the industry, working in the industry, who had positive vibes all the time. So that was good.
Awesome. Um, you navigated gender bias in Hollywood. What challenges did you face when trying to tell female driven stories?
Yeah, well, I would get the words. So I turn in the script and say, "Here's a screenplay I wrote. That's a great script, but we can't sell strong female stories. We can't sell those." So that's another reason I turned to writing my own books, which is proven quite the opposite. Does these books sell? And I have won over 20 awards with my 10 books. So yeah, there's something there that Hollywood is missing. And granted, people will say that Hollywood has changed now, but it hasn't really. But what has changed is women fighting for equal pay. And when they fight for equal pay with their male counterparts, they now have the money to make their own studios, and then they can start making those films. So that is, for lack of a better phrase, trickle down effect. But that is what happens when women have the same amount of money; they can do the same kind of things.
Okay. So how did your background in behavioral science influence the way you craft characters? Because I know you, like you said, you use your friends and everything, but I know does that have any influence on how you also craft characters and stories?
Well, it has always helped me with my ability to write fantastic dialogue. Um, People don't talk in full and complete sentences, and they don't use your name every time they start a sentence. And I can write really good dialogue due to that. And then in my novels or even in my movies, um, I would throw in things that are real life. You're walking across the room and your character trips, because we all do that. Most people don't think of those little things that happen day in and day out. Or just a husband and wife team who she might give him a wink and he knows something that means something else, and those kind of little nuances, that's where those come into play in my books and in my screenplays. So yeah, and I love not doing foreshadowing twists. I don't want you to know when you're reading that 3 sentences down the whole book's going to go whoop. Yeah, so I don't give any foreshadows like they do in Hollywood often, right? In the movies, I just let it, kind of a Spielberg trick. That's what he does. He takes a scream to a laugh, right? Because he doesn't foreshadow it. So I worked for him and that company for several years, so I kind of picked that up from him.
Well, what advice would you give women who are trying to break into the male-dominant industries like film and literature?
Well, I'm hoping women like myself have made that a little easier. However, go in grounded. You really need to know yourself and be yourself, and you have to have a thick skin. You can't complain about everything that happens. You have to pick your battles if you're going to do something. When I went to go get same pay, it was, no matter how you do it, no matter how you present it as a woman, even though I said, here's the facts, here's this black and white, they look at you as a trouble person. You're causing troubles, or why, they say things like, well, we just won't give him a raise until you catch up. Well, let's see, if I do the math, that means in 13 years, I'll be paid, you just, I have everything ready, all the answers ready. But, you kind of, you have to go in a sense without emotion, in a sense, even though they will still see you as emotional as a woman. Yeah. So, you need to fight. You do need to take stands on certain things, and certain things you have to just let go, and you have to figure out what those are for you.
Your books blend adventure, mystery, and humor. How do you balance these elements in your storytelling?
I guess it's kind of the way I see life. Anytime I'm with my friends or my dad and his wife and we're driving somewhere and we take a wrong turn, my next words are, we're on an adventure. I just see everything kind of as an adventure. I love humor in my own life. I am mischievous, I confess, very mischievous, but it's a lot of yourself in every book. Actually, all my book characters, leading characters, start with the letter K. And, there's a little bit of me in all of them. I love anthropology. I love science. The good thing about the Disturbed Tombs, Kaili Worthy series, I got to research. Historical figures. I got to research. There's more, tombs in Sudan than there is in Egypt. And, and you find out stuff. So that's why I like doing the historical fiction for myself, because I like it to be as accurate as possible, even though it's fiction. And so I get to pick the books 2, and in books 3, I pick other people, people that have passed away that most people don't even know about. Um, Queen Boudica from England, who was a female warrior. Most people don't know about her. And so she's a character in my second book. And they find her bones. So it's just, I love research and history. So a lot of real life is put into my books. And I think that's what people like.
Okay. Uh, what we was discussing your humor, and like you talk about you're mischievous, right? What
Yes.
what role does humor play in the resilience of your characters, especially dealing with life challenges?
Oh, yes. Well, they all face challenges in my book at some point or another because we all do. Every day kind of is something might challenge us. Um, they are generally surrounded by people who are supportive and not, and respectful. So they work it out by talking or figuring it out. And one of the best ways, even in life, is if you have a problem and you have a creative personality, you can probably solve it pretty easily because creativity brings forth lots of answers and a lot of, well, innovation. So problems, it applies to problems just as well. So my characters tend to work together. They tend to be honest with each other. Yes, it is fiction, but if they're in a relationship of some type, then they're talking about their problems and they work them out together and they stick together.
Okay. Well, you've had a rich career in entertainment. What's been one of the most fulfilling parts of your journey?
Now it's always the project you're working on. I think I am very proud of my days in Hollywood. I did everything I wanted to do in Hollywood. Walked red carpet, went to award shows, the whole 9 yards. Um, if you work in Hollywood or have any connection to it, then you know the glitz and glamour of Hollywood only kind of happens on the red carpet. Everything else is work. And when you're on the red carpet, you're taped, you're glued, and your hairsprayed to death. And out here in California, if we're doing a show, we're walking the carpet at 3. So we're also sweating 3 in the afternoon for an evening show in the East Coast. But I think I'm most proud of being able to write my novels, taking the leap, trusting myself, believing in myself, and trusting myself. So that is probably what I feel. I've won so many awards. I'm astonished. To be honest with you, I am humbled every time because for my first book to win 4 awards, I was happy that I got it published.
So,
So
so
yeah,
would you consider turning them into movies? Your novels?
absolutely. My book, Road to Elysium. Some production companies have asked to look at the book, so I've told them yes. So we'll see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Road to Elysium is about a man who has lost everything, lost all hope, lost the things that are important to him. And due to circumstances beyond his control, he ends up meeting a young boy named Michael and ends up mentoring the young man because the young man was bold enough to ask him or make a request of him. And in doing so, changes everybody's life, changes his life, changes Michael's life, changes the community's life. And it is based and inspired on a true story. So it is, think Blindside meets It's a Wonderful Life because it does have a holiday ending. So,
Okay.
of charity. Yeah. So it's about redemption.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm sure. I'm positive that they will definitely turn that. It sounds like something that would be make a great movie. So
Yes,
I'm hoping
I agree.
I'm hoping they go get they green lighted and we get to see your work on the big screen.
Yeah, that would be a come around, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. It would be an amazing come around. Um, let's see. So how was it being honored in the Marquise Who's Who in America? How has being honored in the Marquise Who's Who in America validated your career as a storyteller?
It has been phenomenal. Um, There's so many scams out there and so many things that happened when I first got contacted. I thought, right, right. And then I have been featured in the Wall Street Journal. I have, made a lot more contacts. Validates, your book writing, your authority in books. And it has just been, I also got picked as one of the designated Women of the Year for Who's Who. So I'm blown away. So yes, absolutely blown away. So I have, just really cherished that honor.
Awesome. What was well, I asked that question already. So we talked about how Hollywood and literature are dominated by men. How do you see the future evolving and evolving for the landscape of female representation in Hollywood and literature?
You know, I totally agree with the strikes that they had because of AI. So that's where my concern is. When I started in Hollywood years ago, before AI was as prominent as it is now, I used to tell people at one point they'll be able to buy your likeness and make movies without you having to be there. And we're almost there now. So I don't know if the female prominence will be more accessible. Every time something becomes more accessible, when cameras got smaller and you could get video editing on your laptop, a lot more people have access to it. It used to be a much more closed off society. In fact, when Thomas Edison had it, he was the media cartel of Hollywood at that time. Access to that stuff was very, and as it opens up with technology, then everybody will have more access,
So,
including women.
so I think it would help by it opening up because, like you said, now women have more access. They have more opportunities to 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 produce their own movies, to
Correct.
fund and all the and open your own studios and like you said, yes, equipment has gotten smaller. It's editing this editing software that people buy that people use have made a movie off the iPhone,
Correct.
off a phone. So
Right.
it's definitely evolved, and I feel like now is a great opportunity for there's some very talented women out there that will take that next step and you will see because I've they've had a couple of recent even as far okay even the Black Widow from Disney that
Hmm.
that was a dominant female role, but it also her vulnerability and what she went through. I feel like yeah, there is a shift where now it's that women because I understand where they would say oh women in thrillers and action movies wouldn't sell, but now you see movies like that with a female lead doing well, having success, showing that a woman can play these action roles and can play these hero roles, and the movie be a success.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You would think they would jump on that a little bit more. Um, but yeah, it is taking generally a female production company to get those out. Rarely is it a big studio that's yeah, let's do it, or they'll pick up a film that someone's made. But absolutely, why we're fighting for equality is so that we can be equal on all fronts, and they miss a lot of stuff when it's an all male dominated script writing team. And there's a show on TV right now that I cringe every time I watch it because none of the women are real on the show. And I'm like, you got to stop having an all, one male or two males writing the scripts and not run it past some women because, we don't behave that way. We don't do those things. And, and we don't scream and trip every single time we're being chased. I swear we do not. you know, so, those are some of my little pet peeves because that's always written in it. and and they're stereotypical women, which from the Hollywood, that we're not like that at all. So you get a true story of a woman backpacking in the Alps by herself, and what she endures is much more intriguing to me than that fake one-sided, one flat female image. So
Yeah.
that's what we're being able to do. And then there's things that we like to see on men like to see certain things, women like to see certain things, and that's starting to show up. So I enjoy that, I'll be honest. So absolutely it is changing that way.
Yes, it definitely is. Hold on 1 second. Oh man. So like you said, you love archaeologists and
Archaeology.
anthropology. You like archaeology and anthropology. What was it about that drew you into that?
The discovery, I think it is. I think it's part of history. You could learn a lot about civilizations before us. We we really need to know our history. We need to know where we came from. There's a lot of things we do not know. I listen to scientists sometimes talk about, oh, we know this for a fact. You're like, do you? Because in 2 years you find something down in the ocean that you've never heard of before. Like, oh well, I guess you can live down in these depths. So I'm always leery when I hear someone say it's a fact for a fact, because we don't know that much really about our planet and the people before us and the people, uh, what did they go through? What problems, they say the Incas, I think it was the Incas in particular, outgrew their city and actually ran out of food and stuff because of, their farming and everything. And that's one reason why they think, that they moved on. But, are we doing that right now in our own cities? Yeah, history repeats itself is that famous phrase. And if we don't learn from it, we won't grow from it.
Definitely. Okay. Wow, you blew right through my question.
I can tell you, I have written 10 books so
Yes.
far. My tenth book just came out on Monday, so you got me Tuesday.
Oh,
So
what's the name of the 10th book?
the 10th book is called 5 Pounds of Pressure. 5 pounds of pressure. That's what it takes to shoot a gun. 5 to 6 pounds of pressure. So it is part two, or book number two, in my Shaw's investigations. My first one was called Sisters in Cold Blood, and this is book two, 5 Pounds of Pressure. And they're demolishing a house. It's a cold case, cozy mystery novel. And in the house, they find a body that was buried in the wall. And it starts from there.
Awesome. It's amazing that well, I can see how you can make the transition because you just writing scripts or writing novels isn't
It
that
isn't too far off, but
far
it
off.
is. It is
Yeah.
different in the sense of visual versus reading, right? Visual
Okay.
versus the
Yeah.
print word. So in the print word, you have to put down everything you see, right? Everything you want your people to know, everything, uh, what the room is like, what, whatever. Where in visual, if you want someone to be strategic, you put a chess set next to them. You give them, fancy updated computer. If you want them to be someone who goes on their instinct, they've got a wooden desk, no computer, and a few books on their desk. And that tells you a lot about the characters that you don't have to write into the script, right? But you have to put that into a book if that's what you want to get across to your audience. So in that way, it's different. I like writing books because I don't have to keep indenting and changing and formatting. Scripts are more tedious, in my opinion, than writing a book. So I can just fly through the keys and write a couple chapters a day, and and have fun at it, and not worry if I got the right indentation or set up the scene for the camera. Yeah.
So
So
so so in so every is which how many so how many leading women do you have?
Out of the 10 books, I
Yeah.
have 9.
Are they
So
all 9 of them are different? Are they all different leading women, or are they
no,
different?
so the Kaili Worthy series is the same woman. There might
Yeah.
be different people coming in and out that are you
How
know
many Kelly Worthy series do you have?
I have 3 of those books, and then the Shaws I have 2 books, which Carrie Shaw is the lead character in that one, and then I have different ones. Shooter's Treasure is about a woman who buys a ranch and finds out there's a treasure on her land, and other people want that treasure. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
So that one, and then I have a Love's Connection or Love's. I'm sorry, Love's Connection. What am I saying? Love's Calculated Risk. That's a new one that came out at the beginning of the year, and she's an accountant, but she gets a new client, and all of a sudden he's charged with fraud, and and, and it leads to the organized crime and yada yada, and she has to help
Did, did you just tell me you just released the book yesterday?
it. January yesterday. Like I said, I can
You're
sit down and
churning
write
them
3
out.
chapters at a time. Yes, yes. I love writing. I have
Oh
to
man.
remind myself, if I didn't have a dog sitting next to me like I do right now, I would forget that I have to get up and go do something. So he lets me know, you've been sitting too long, Mom. Yeah. Yes, I did say that. I've only been writing since 2020, and I have 10 books out.
Wow.
So yeah, and I'm halfway through my next book, which will be book 3 of this series. So I have to get them out of my head. I have my next book after that one in my head already. So yeah, you don't want to be in there. There's murder going on and intrigue and
Oh, I'm sure it's like being able to create these characters, and how do you how do your friends react to some of these characters? Do they enjoy these characters you create of them?
they love them. They probably are my most faithful fans. Like, when's the book coming out? So they want them autographed, even though we just go out to dinner. They bring their books. Please sign my books. I feel silly, but they absolutely love them. At one point in one of my books, there was kind of a romantic scene, and I was using my girlfriend's first name, and I said, "Are you have any problem if I put this in the book?" And she's like, "No, no one's gonna know." But here I am talking about it, right? So, but fiction. You know what's beautiful about fiction? It can be anything, anywhere, anything can happen. It's fiction. Good Lord, if you can get people out with a Wookiee out on a spaceship, you can do anything, right? Douglas Adams, you can do anything. So that's what I like about fiction. You know, you're the creator. I started in the news business when I first went into Hollywood, writing the news, and I felt powerful about I get to pick the stories and share the stories. But quickly, with social media and everything, where they're trying to get it out faster than verifying it, it wasn't my cup of tea. So I got pulled into doing the news on camera because somebody was out sick, and being in front of the camera, no. But here I am in front of the camera. But yeah, back
But
then
it's
I was like,
different. It's different when you're a guest. So
yes,
you're just here, like, I'm just here to visit, and,
I'm here to visit. Say hi.
and then I'm gone. But so yeah, so it's different. But no, it can be sometimes. I know I was intimidated my first time going live. It was like, and it's different. There's a difference between pre-recording something and going live, because
Yes,
when it's pre-recorded, you can erase if you don't like it.
you can do it over.
Yeah, when I go live, it's live. And I was tired of editing, that's for sure, because it can be long,
Yeah, yeah.
long drawn out days, and to do 3 shows a week and have to edit, I was like, no, let me go live, limit what I have to edit, and just have fun coming out and having these conversations, and just
having them just flow naturally, have, good conversations, talk about anything under the sun if you got a great guest. And
yeah.
it's fun. Yeah, it can be really fun. I'm having a great time.
You know what? And having this is something I used to do when I first started the show. It was something that, because I really did when I first started. I wasn't in media. I wasn't in entertainment. I was not behind a
You
camera. Not,
trusted yourself
yeah,
and you
I was
believed
just,
in yourself. Yes.
no, but I mean, I had no experience in none of this, so
Right.
I had to learn how to become a host. It took me time. I worked on it. Took courses on voiceover and all these different things, and breathing techniques and all this other. But it was something I was like, all right, if I'm gonna do this, if I'm gonna be in front of a camera, I need to improve. Um, so when or even when, if I'm gonna be behind this mic, I need to make sure that I improve and invest in myself, and so that's what I did when I found that I had a voice, and that it was something that, okay, I can make an impact. I'm reaching thousands of people with my episodes, and it's like, oh man, this feels good to be able to, and to produce good content where it's positive and people are gaining something from it. It's amazing to be able to come and have people like yourself come and share your story, and your struggles as a woman in an industry that was dominated by men. I can imagine. It's like it's those are stories that people need to hear.
Yeah, there are, there's things that I'll never repeat that happened in Hollywood.
Yeah,
But the one thing you know, I'm, as long as we always improve, my writing has improved. I will tell you, my writing. A couple of books I'd like to go back and someday when I have an empty head, if that's possible, to rewrite them. But yeah, if you go into something, you take that leap. You took that leap, and you educate. I've taken seminars and classes as well, and uh, improve. Then you're heading in the right direction. We're good. We're going to trip now and then. We always do, and we learn from it, and we move on.
yeah,
We do it differently.
yeah. You have
Absolutely.
it's life. You have to. I I've learned a lot in these 4 years doing the podcast about myself, and I'm still a work in progress. But it, it's it's been an amazing 4 years, and it's really been able, and being able to build the relationships I've had been able that I've been able to build doing the podcast.
Right.
I have friends now that are for life, and it's people that are like minded. It's You attract the people you want to in your life, and I've been blessed to
Correct.
attract people that are positive, that want to see you succeed and want to help you, and because I'm the same way. I want to see my friends and people I know succeed, and in any way I can help support them, and I try my best. And so being in this, in especially in podcasting, um it's a great community. It's people that I've been able to, like I said, build lifelong relationships and lifelong friendships with in just 4 years.
Yeah. Same time I started writing.
Yeah.
So you and I
How,
started at
how
the same time.
so how is it? How is it when do you go to conventions to meet up with other authors and sit, and do you have friends that are writers?
Yes, I have friends that are writers. I have a friend that had already written
Obviously, yeah,
a book. Yeah, that helped me get started. Um, I have friends that help promote stuff. So absolutely. I haven't done a lot of traveling only because I've chosen not to do traveling.
yeah,
But when you win awards, they want you to come to the show. But I'm like, I'm good. So but for the most part, I Yes, I have surrounded. When you get old enough to realize you choose the people in your life,
Yeah.
that's when it all clicks, right? And I have fantastic friends who have supported me no matter how many typos are in my books. And
Have
you
you
know,
have you had someone call you, someone you know call you and be like, you misspelled this word?
well, I have had people say that. My first books, I had hired editors, and then some of the reviews I got were, "You should have hired an editor," and I was like, "But I did." So don't assume I didn't, but yeah, there were typos in it, and so I finally found a good editor. She's fantastic, and you learn as you go,
Yeah, you
and
do.
so did I.
Oh
So
yeah,
absolutely.
that's definitely, that is something that's you do is learn is to
But you
us.
have to
I'm
find
sure.
those people, like you said, that to support you
Yeah,
because there is a pool of authors or people who write or maybe want to be writers, I'm not sure, that are very critical and will tear your work apart. And at first, when I first started getting some of comments back, I'd have someone read something and they were so close to hostile, and I'd be like, "Well, no, that's possible." I mean, I can, one person read my book and wrote to Elysium and said that would never happen, and then I said, "Well, it's based on a true story, so how could that never happen? It happened," and it's just those kind of things where you're like, "Wait a minute," So you have to be careful who you choose to help mentor you and someone who has your passion at heart and wants to see you succeed.
yeah,
Because there's naysayers a dime a dozen out there.
yeah. People want to see you where they're at, and so and like, but again, na- and it's true now. As I get older, I select my friends. I select who I want to be associated with, and stuff like that. And maybe back growing up, I didn't realize it, but now, yeah, definitely now is if I'm not feeling your energy, and I just don't see that a relationship between us is gonna work. As far as friendship, I move on. I'm
Right.
not rude about it. But I, I, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna.
Not going to force it.
Yeah, no. I'm
Yeah.
gonna like, it's not working for me. So save us both the time. I just
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
leave you alone, and just move on, and yeah, but
Absolutely.
yeah, and there. There's just some people you just can't connect with. That's
That's
life.
true.
Yeah, it's
You're
like,
not here to, yeah, you're not here to connect with everybody.
nope.
So,
Yeah, not everybody comes for your ride. Comes along for your ride.
right. For sure.
But now is the time where you get the solo screen and you get to plug away the new book, what where they can find it, your website, everything.
Okay. All right. Well, the newest book is 5 Pounds of Pressure, and it is based on the series The Shaw Investigations. That's a husband and wife team that stopped what they've been working on and became Private Eyes. And they solved their first story is Sisters in Cold Blood. It is about inheriting a house. Carrie inherits a house and finds a confession letter dated 1909 from a serial killer that nobody knew existed. And back then, it was more difficult to find missing people. So all these women were listed as missing people. And she goes on the hunt to recover these women's bodies so that the families can have closure. That's the first book. And this is the second book where they get pulled into another murder mystery because the woman is found. You can see right there, there's a skeleton inside the house that's being demolished. And it leads them through a web of twists and turns, and their lives are threatened and the whole 9 yards. Uh, the first book is an award-winning book, so it is an award-winning series, and you can find out more information about all my books, including Love's Calculated Risk we talked about and Road to Elysium we talked about, at my website, which is my name, Kaya Oliver Oliver.com. All my books are available also on Amazon and I believe online Barnes and Noble. So again, my website is info, kaoliver.com.
And I will make sure I put that into the description of the show. So definitely check it out and go check out her website.
I'd appreciate that. Come and tell me what you think.
And thank you for being a guest. I appreciate it. It's been a great time chatting with you. You're more than welcome anytime to come promote a book anytime. I love to have repeat guests. So if you get your book out in the next 6 months or so, hit me up and we'll have you back on to promote it. Because, like I said, I love to support people. I like to support people who are doing what they love to do, and you're an inspiration to women out there because you're doing it in the industry. Like we said, you're definitely someone who's opening doors and opening opportunities for women out there now that they truly deserve. So continue to do what you're doing. Keep shining bright. Keep putting out those books and keep winning those awards because you deserve them.
Well, thank you very, very much. This has been a pleasure. I would love to come back. This has been one of my favorites. Yes.
You can definitely come back and promote your books, and I would love to have you, and we can chat and catch up.
Okay, you got it. You're on.
All right, but don't leave just yet. Let me close out the show, and we'll chat a little bit off the air. And
okay.
But thank you once again for being a wonderful guest.
Thank you for having me.
All right, everybody, another great episode. I'm so blessed to be able to do this. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. If you catch later on the replay, thank you as well. Please hit that notification bell. Subscribe if you haven't already. I greatly appreciate everybody who supports the show. Anybody who tuned in live, greatly appreciate it. As always, big shout out to my Real Wise fam, Poppy J, Brandy J. Love you guys. Shout out to the boss lady. Love you and appreciate you. Big shout out to our guest, K.A. Oliver, for coming through and sharing her story. And as always, a big shout out to all the essential workers out there. God bless y'all. Be safe. You know how your boy Wise does it. Peace out.